Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Willie the Kid here from Eastwick Boxing in association with Three Kings, sponsored by the motherfucking movement. And we coming to you today with a few of my boys here. We got the Competier
Shit.
all the way from England, somewhere, London, I don't know where, but somewhere out there.
It's all the same shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, we all called Liam.
Aaron Cooper, aka Liam. We have my boy Steve-O Henderson and my man shit, like a brother to me, man. 2K the guy. What's going on, fellas?
What's up, y'all?
Well,
What's up, guys?
Firstly, the Crumpeteer name ain't sticking, guys. We got to drop that shit quick.
Hey, if anybody wants to follow the Crumpeteer, he's got the Crumpeteer's Corner starting at formerly known as the Cooper's Corner, starting on threekingsboxing.com.
with friends like you guys, who the fuck needs enemies? Seriously.
Oh no!
Hey man, Happy New Year's, fellas.
Absolutely. Happy New Year to everybody listening, to all the people involved in the movement, man. This is gonna be a good year for us.
Yes, it is. So
Absolutely.
the heavyweight division's heating up. We got Joshua Parker. That's got announced. We got Ortiz, Wilder. That's pretty much set for March 3rd. Which fight interests you guys the most? I'll start with C.
Which fight interests me the most?
Yeah.
Wilder Ortiz.
Absolutely.
I believe there's that's closer to an even fight to an outcome either way than what Joshua Parker is. I think Joshua Parker's a one-sided fight in my opinion. I don't see Parker being able to get inside on Joshua to even make this fight competitive. That fight anyway.
2K.
So it's definitely Ortiz Wilder.
Man, I'm actually surprised that I think I said this to you guys the other day. I'm surprised that Joseph Parker and his team agreed in principle to the goddamn terms of this fight, because he about to get washed. You know what I'm saying? What I seen against that nigga Huggy Fury, what I seen against fat ass Andy Ruiz Jr. Man, Anthony Joshua about to lay him down probably in the same fashion he laid down Dillian White. You might see his arm hanging out the ropes, man. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with C. I don't see that fight being even at all. So I'm definitely going with Ortiz Wilder, because as a lot of people know, I think Ortiz can actually win that fight. So it's definitely 50-50. Of course, the reason why Wilder makes it a 50-50 fight is because he's got the great equalizer, which is power, right? But of course, Ortiz has the footwork. He's got the good accurate punching. He's a southpaw. He's not a dumbass in the ring. So there's a lot of things that are in Ortiz's favor, and it just makes for a fucking compelling ass fight, man. I can't wait to see that one.
Yeah, we're probably gonna get into that prediction thread as we get closer to that fight. You know what I mean? So, but that to me is probably the one that I want to see the most out of the two that we're talking about. Aaron.
No, I'm going to make it a clean sweep as well, primarily because, rightly or wrongly, Deontay Wilder's had some pretty shitty luck with, a lot of people out there in various groups that sit there and say, he's never really been tested. And, okay, fair enough, he hasn't. He tried to make the Povetkin fight. The Povetkin fight would have been a good fight, but the guy couldn't stay fucking clean. So, it's not his fault. This is really, in this 38th fight, that we're probably going to see the first real live competitive fight. There's a lot of people out there that slag off Ortiz. They say that he's too old, but not being funny when you're fighting guys like, like Mike Scott, like David Allen. You're not going to get yourself up for those fights. He hasn't got out of first gear in either of them.
That's a good point.
So, and to pick up on 2K's point, do you know what? I don't think that he's going to wash him completely. Being a Brit, and what worries me about Joshua is his stamina. We all know that we've all seen him gas out really, really badly. And you know what? If Parker can put the pressure on him early, it can make for a competitive fight early. But the worrying thing with Joseph Parker is whenever he goes to the body, whenever he tries to load up that big right hand, he leaves himself completely open. So a big straight down the pipe. I'd say Joshua's going to win that fight in 6.
Oh wow. So basically, Liam says that Liam is gonna beat Parker. Okay.
Damn.
Yeah. But so Tyson Fury is set to be making a comeback. Eddie Hearn has been mentioned as saying that Wilder is next for Joshua. Let's say Wilder beats Ortiz. Joshua beats Parker. Can Tyson Fury derail the plans for a fight in 2018 between the two biggest heavyweights?
I'm gonna jump in if you don't mind. I'm gonna say no. I think that given his, I mean, it's clear from all the videos and everything that we've seen, right? Tyson Fury is actually making a legitimate attempt to make a comeback. And I wrote an article for Three Kings not so long ago. The sport, the heavyweight division, it needs Tyson Fury, but to think reasonably that after 2 years out of the ring, well, which will be 2.5 sort of by the time you're looking at the summer, that he's going to want to take on a Joshua or Wilder. I mean, don't get me wrong, Fury's got balls, right? But he's not fucking stupid. I can't see Fury mixing it up with either of those guys until early 2019.
2K?
Look here, man. I'm gonna give you the business perspective, and then I'm gonna give you from the perspective. Business wise, man, as much as I hate it, it makes 100% perfect sense. You know what I'm saying? To have a guy like Tyson Fury, who is ironically, as a lot of the Brits, they follow boxers from their hometown or home country, no matter what, just because they have a lot of pride in the people that come from where they're at, right? He's one of the most hated over there.
Yeah.
And I've talked to a lot of British guys. They can't stand Tyson Fury, right? But it's kind of like a Floyd Mayweather effect, but not that big. They will watch Tyson Fury in order to see him get his ass whooped, right? Eddie Hearn knows this. Tyson Fury is in training. He is trying to come back, right? I think Tyson Fury will have a tune-up fight next year. And after that tune-up fight, we all know Tyson Fury, he's not going to want to fight another tune-up. He's going to want to go for the title. He wants to reclaim everything that he had in the past that he feels was taken away from him, even though he's a crackhead. He feels that it was taken away from him. You know what I'm saying? And he wants to reclaim all that shit back. Real talk, right? So after his tune-up, I think he's going to want Anthony Joshua. And I feel Eddie Hearn is going to make that fight because it makes way more money in the UK than a Deontay Wilder does at this moment in time. Right now, I will say this: if Deontay Wilder beats Luis Ortiz in March, right? Well, then we got a whole nother can of worms that we need to open.
But in what fashion?
Well, I was gonna say, but then again, yeah, if it's a close fight, then people are gonna say, well, Wilder wasn't really that good. If he knocks him the fuck out, well, I think still people are gonna have excuses for Wilder because again, Wilder doesn't really get much of the credit that he should get at this point in his career, right? So I think they'll say, well, he was too old, blah blah blah. You'll need guys like me and my channel who is trying to tell people, no, Luis Ortiz is a fucking threat. You see what I'm saying? So, but if he beats him, that's going to open up a whole nother can of worms in terms of, okay, Wilder has kind of solidified himself a little bit, but it also gives Eddie Hearn the opportunity to say, hey, I'm going to marinate this fight even more. You see what I'm saying? And why not go get that Tyson Fury money? Let me get that shit first. Then we can go get the Deontay Wilder money. It makes perfect business sense to me that Tyson Fury will fuck this up. Now, from a fan's perspective, I don't want to see that shit. I need him to go directly to Deontay Wilder because you already beat Joseph Parker. You about to get the WBO title. That's 3 titles right there, dog. If you beat Deontay Wilder, who is openly saying he wants to fight you and openly offering you the opportunity to become undisputed, the first undisputed heavyweight champion since Lennox Lewis in what, 1999? You know what I'm saying? If you get that opportunity, then fucking take it and take it while it's there. That's my fan perspective. But I can see what Eddie Hearn is going to try to do here, and I think Tyson Fury is going to fuck it up, man.
See?
I'm here.
What you think?
Listen,
2K
From a
touched
fan
up on a
perspective,
lot.
we don't want to see it, but from a business perspective, you're talking about arguably the biggest fight financially in British boxing history.
Yeah.
Yeah, easily,
And-
easily.
And so I can definitely see it happening. Very, very easily see it happening. Now, here's the issue that the Fury fight, in my opinion, is actually harder for Hearn to make than the Wilder fight is. And what I mean by that is if Fury remains, if he goes back to Frank Warren, man, Hearn and Warren do not work very well together at all. Where's the fight going to be telecast? I mean, they got network issues over there just like we do over here in America. Who carries it, Box Nation or Sky Sports? You know what I mean? Or BT? Because Warren's with one and Sky, Hearn's exclusive with Sky Sports. So that could throw a wrench in the plans. But I believe that Fury's not set to return, but he's rumored to be returning around April.
Right.
Maybe even May. And
well, he'll be ready.
By then, we will have the result of Joshua Parker, which I think is a foregone conclusion, like we done discussed. But we'll also have the result of Wilder and Ortiz. And like 2K said, that has a chance to change the whole perspective of what we're looking at here. So, but going into those fights prior to what happens there, yeah, I think it's very possible that it could fuck it up. And we also have to look at mandatories for Joshua as far as what could come next. You know what I mean? The WBA could actually order, as stupid as this sounds, Povetkin to be next. And for Joshua, he has to face him.
I forgot about him. Good point.
Guys, also, if isn't there a rematch clause for the Parker fight? If say Joshua or Parker wins by UD. Rematch, there's that rematch clause there, so that could easily busy up Joshua until the winter of 2018.
But then you're talking about Aaron up. This is why I wanted to have you on. Like, what's the stadium weather like over there? Like, when are these stadium fights mostly hosted?
Reasonably, well, we all know the weather in England's shit. We get about 3 weeks of sun a year. I mean,
we can tell by looking at your face. Go ahead.
Well, there we go. Well, dearie, fucking me. Right.
The pasty crumpetier.
You can fucking shut up too, white boy. I've seen your face. You're just as white as next. Right. Anyway, back to business. Wembley Stadium has a roof, so it doesn't matter, and so does the Principality Stadium in Cardiff. Both have roofs.
But they're going to use this as a reason.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so give me the time frame. From 1 month to 1 month.
April to September. Reasonably, you could hold an outdoor fight in Wembley between April and September.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, so that kind of changes things. When did we? I went to Joshua Klitschko. I think that was in April of last year, right?
Yeah, that was the 20. That was my 30th birthday, 20th of April, 29th of April. Sorry. Yeah, so it's
29th.
29th of April. Yeah.
I was over for a few days. I remember,
and it wasn't bad.
I remember I got back and then I found out that you and your buddy Everton was there.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, reasonably. I mean, you're not going to hold. I mean, well, you've got to argue on where the fight's going to be. I mean, Fury Joshua will be at Wembley. That'll be a stadium breaker. That'll be an attendance breaker. That's the only place that place is going to be. I mean, if you're talking the Wilder fight and the AJ fight, where's that going to? I mean, I don't want to throw out too many questions because there are lots of variables and lots of possibilities. But if you're going to put on a bigger fight, you want to put on the biggest fight possible, and it's probably going to piss you guys off. But you're going to do it here in terms of attendance and all that kind of shit.
Well, that's what we've been saying. I think 2K, myself, and even see some records saying that this fight will probably make more money in England than it would here. I think 2K can agree to that. But my whole thing is like, can you see this fight getting pushed back to 2019?
Which one?
AJ Wilder.
Yes.
I mean, it's the fight everybody wants to see.
Absolutely.
Shit, I could see that getting pushed back to
like next summer, right?
Mid
2000. This
2000.
summer coming up. in 18, but summer 19.
Mid 2019. I can see it as far back as that, man. Easily.
Yeah, I can too.
Yeah.
Well, what do you guys think is really going to happen? How about that, Aaron? You think Wilder, Hearn, Chris Hearn told you himself that Wilder's next, right? You believe?
Sure did. We sure
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, going back to 2K's point, if you've got a fight against Parker in March, you win that. He's all of a sudden got 3 belts, and you've got the opportunity glaring you in the face. I mean, AJ's got this whole thing about wanting to be, the sport's first billionaire. And if you're looking at ways in which he's going to do that, and you've got an opportunity to become the first heavyweight undisputed champion since Lennox Lewis, you'd be fucking stupid not to take it. Whether he does or not, I don't know. I mean, Hearn's a lot. He's all talk. Hearn, I mean, I know promoters like to talk anyway, but yeah.
I'll be honest with you, man. I would like that fight to happen as soon as possible. I think we all would, but at the same time, I want it to be over there, and then I want like Wilder to cock back in the first round and land this big shot out of nowhere, and my man just falls, and I just want to see the crowd.
I don't know about the result happening, but it will be over there for sure.
Yeah, that fight is happening over there. I don't see it. 2K. I don't see the fan buzz over here like it would be over there.
Exactly.
I think you could agree to that. Now Joshua has said some things about both of these guys, hasn't he? I think I saw an article you did on 3kingsboxing.com.
Yeah, he kind of has. I don't remember verbatim exactly what he said, but I know he has no respect for Tyson Fury at all, which, that's.
He said something along the line of, I don't respect Tyson Fury.
Deontay Wilder's got a big mouth.
Something that he wants to see. This is how he's going to be honest now, since they call him a bum and all this other stuff. He's not going to be polite anymore, quote unquote.
Yeah, I'm pulling up my notes on it right now. Hold on just a second.
In order, I think
he also said he doesn't respect many heavyweights. He used to say a lot of nice things about him, but he doesn't anymore. Yeah. That's just how he said. That's how he is. It's not an act.
2K. A fighter's mentality. Like when you hear a fighter say that, but it's something that he normally doesn't say, and then explains why he's saying it. How does that make you feel?
Yeah. Well, you already know how I feel about AJ's fighter mentality when he's already come out and admitted that he may lose a fight one day. You know what I'm saying? Having the correct fighter's mentality as a fighter, you're an alpha male no matter what. That's supposed to be your persona, right? The straight alpha male, nobody fucking with you. You walk in a room, you want everybody looking at you. No other man should be looked at in that room. But Anthony Joshua pretty much allowed other people to look at another man by saying, hey, I may lose one day, so what are motherfuckers naturally going to do? Well, who's he going to lose to? Hey, Deontay Wilder looks like he could be trouble. Let's look at him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I already questioned his fighter's mentality. Now with him saying that, I mean,
explaining it. My whole thing, like, why explain it?
Yeah, exactly. You make a good point. You don't explain it. You just say, hey, fuck everybody. Any more questions?
I want to chime in. I want to talk a little bit actually about the way that over here. I mean, but we tend to piggyback on Olympic success, and that's what's happened with Joshua and a few other people. And 2 years ago, AJ could do no wrong, and he really couldn't. But now people are. I mean, my opinion on him's changed. I know a lot of other people that I speak to that are following the sport over here, it's all starting to change a little bit in the sense that, Deontay Wilder has been calling AJ out for fucking ever. That fight's not happening. And, you look at his post-fight interviews against Carlos Takam, and it's like, oh, we'll fight who we're going to fight. And, it's glaring you in the face. This guy wants to fucking fight you, but he is trying to put him off. But equally, his persona is starting to change. He's starting to get a little bit snappier. He's starting to become a little bit nastier. And actually, something that Dillian White said back a few years ago, just before their fight. It's like you're lying to everybody. This isn't who you are. We know who you are. I know who you are. So stop lying to everybody. That is actually starting to come out, and it's actually starting to put people off because he's had a great PR team that are putting, they're telling him the right things to say, and that they've managed to make him an awful lot of money doing that. But public opinion of him here is actually changing.
I think as much as it's changing, though, if you go by social media, you would think he still has a very, very, very huge following. Let's be honest, the guy generates money.
He has, but I'm going to pick up on a point that you said that I think it was 2K that picked up earlier, that British fans hate Tyson Fury. Do you know what? You talk to anybody, you go into a pub, you go into a bar, you say Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua a few years ago, you'd have probably got sort of an 80-20 for an AJ response. But Tyson Fury, he has actually got a pretty big fan base over here now. Ever since the Klitschko fight, it's growing. Because he is quite. I mean, he's a dickhead. Let's be honest, but he is quite quirky.
He's grown on me, man.
He's grown on. I mean, you and I have been talking for years, and I used to slate him down to the ground. But I'm looking at his videos, and you've got to respect the fact that okay, he's made a few mistakes. Fuck me, we all do it. The guy's got mental health problems. He's trying to claw himself back, and you've got to respect that, and that is starting to win an awful lot of people over.
Chris. Are you there, Chris?
Oh, yeah.
It's the heavyweight division, a better division, with a perfectly healthy sound, no issues, no problems. Tyson Fury.
Yeah, of course. Of course it is. Well, let me see. The best way to explain it is it just becomes more competitive.
Yeah.
Right now, once you get past really Wilder and Joshua, there's nothing left in that division. There's nothing left. Now, I believe that the two most skilled guys in the division are probably Ortiz and Povetkin, but neither damn one of them can stay off the drugs long enough to pass the piss test. So,
hey, man, they need to call 2K, man. He'll show them how to work out.
Yeah. It's all about the eggs.
All about the eggs.
It's all about the eggs. And if they start to show up in your urine, take some blood pressure medicine.
Right. Exactly.
Hey, really, like this, what? Like, if you guys want to say at the moment, there's only like 6 names in the division.
You're trying to dig too up, ain't you?
Yeah. What,
that's what I was gonna say. You digging, you in the grave, bro.
I know.
Oh no, you could probably get 6. Wilder, Joshua, Fury, Parker, Ortiz, and Povetkin if they can both stay clean.
Yeah, exactly.
Povetkin ain't no name in my opinion. He shouldn't even be fighting.
I feel the same way. I
totally agree. I think he should have had a lifetime ban by now.
Exactly.
So
while I just said I think he's arguably one of the 2 most skilled guys in the division, that don't mean that I think he should be fighting at all.
Yep.
So we cut it down to 5.
Because then you've got the next. I mean, it's going to be an interesting year for the rest of the guys because this is unification year. So guys like Andy Ruiz, what are they going to do? Pulev, what's he going to do? Jarrell Miller's making a noise. What's he going to do?
Well, this is why I say there's no names. Those guys you just mentioned, can they realistically beat Anthony Joshua or Deontay Wilder? And I say absolutely not.
Exactly.
So if he beats Anthony Joshua, I'm sorry, if Anthony Joshua beats Joseph Parker, we got 2 champions now. And those top 2 guys, none of those other names can unequivocally beat, especially fucking Jarrell Miller, Dominic Brazil, you know what I'm saying? Bryant Jennings. They can't beat those guys.
Nope.
So
the only one realistically that can is Fury. If he comes back, and even I'd question as to whether he's got the skills. I won't go any further. Fury for me, as 2K just said, there's 2 guys plus Fury if he comes back.
Well, what about okay? So can Luis Ortiz ruin all this shit, all this talk and everything?
Hell yeah!
Absolutely.
Oh yeah!
Hey, and you know what? This is why guys piss me off when they say Americans are biased fans. All right, let me just say this for the listeners out there. Luis Ortiz is not American, right? Cuba. We don't own Cuban territory. We own the Puerto Ricans. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen, motherfucker.
So you know how I feel about America. Shut your ass up. Anyway. But anyway, yeah, you know, he's a Cuban. He's not American. Yes, he does live here, but that doesn't mean that's the reason why I support him. I actually want Luis Ortiz to fuck this up. Why? Because I feel like Luis Ortiz has been given the shaft, right? Much like Guillermo Rigondeaux has, much like what's my guy's name? Damn, he just slipped my mind. Richard Brill, one of the best lightweights that I thought at that time when he was fighting, when he was active, right? You can even say Erislandy Lara, who's got 2 losses that he really won both those fights, in my opinion. A lot of the Cubans get the shaft, man, and it's happened throughout boxing history.
Regal.
I want this particular Cuban to take advantage of the opportunity he's getting, even though he fucked it up the first time. I want him to take advantage of this opportunity and get the belt that he deserved. I mean, this motherfucker was a WBA mandatory for like 2 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Run
so now
the interim champion forever.
Exactly. Now the WBC is like, okay, here's your opportunity. I need him to take that. You know what I'm saying? And it has nothing to do with him being Cuban American or any of that. Because if it had something to do with Americans, then I'd definitely be backing Deontay Wilder right now.
So listen,
you see what I'm saying?
Listen. So what does this say about Deontay Wilder though? He doesn't have to fight this guy. He fucked it up.
Right. Yeah. And it says that he is actually, even though in the past that I've been criticizing him on his competition, at this moment in time for the last year, he's been looking for the best competition. Nobody can deny that shit, man. Nobody.
No, I can't.
Aaron, you want to elaborate on that, or are you good?
No, it's just 2 cases. I picked up on it earlier on. I mean, you look at, you know, Wilder has come under an awful lot of criticism, and rightly so, because of some of the guys he was fighting. But actually, do you know what? For the last, 2.5 years, he's been trying to get himself that big fight to get people off of his back, and he hasn't got it. It's not been his fault. You know, Povetkin fucked up, and then, you know, and Ortiz fucked up the first time.
I think people forget that the guy was in England already training, ready to fly out to Russia to go fight Povetkin.
Well, here's their argument that I hear all the time on that is that the WBC ended up clearing Povetkin, which they did within about 48 hours. But and he left, and they're saying he ran away from it.
The WBC canceled the fight though.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
They didn't. They tried to get it. They left it up to Wilder.
Let's. Do y'all think, given that information, and we pretty much knew that, do y'all think Wilder should have already should he have fought Povetkin when they cleared him?
Do you think he
stayed in
already?
Russia and fought him? Well, the WBC said, "Hey, he's fine. Fight is on." Should he have stayed in Russia and fought him?
That's I don't know, man.
That's a hard. That's between like. It's too much iffy info there.
I think that's a situation that you can't criticize him for doing what he did, but you also can't not criticize. You know what I mean? It's tough.
Because he had fought Ortiz after because he had put more pressure on the WBC to let him fight Ortiz. 2K, I know you touched up on that a few times when we had talked. Things like that, but at the moment, we can't really criticize him on that position when he's trying to get the very best guy out there. My whole point has been that he doesn't have to give Luis Ortiz a second chance, but he is.
Exactly.
I agree,
and he's got to get respect for that.
Yeah. Here's the thing about should he have fought Ortiz? That ended up being taken. That decision ended up being taken out of his hands. The WBC said that they wanted to clear Ortiz's health. If what he's saying is true, that he's on the blood pressure medicine and all that, then which they ended up saying that it was, but you got to realize these decisions. We're looking at it in hindsight.
Yeah, I could turn.
These decisions were made prior to what we know now. You know what I mean? So,
I believe when they said the fight was on, he was already back in the States, wasn't he? When the Povetkin thing went down,
he was back in England.
Yeah.
So I mean, actually looking at it, if I remember rightly, the Povetkin tested positive for meldonium. I think it was sort of really late April, And then the fight was scheduled for May 21st. Off the top of my head, I'm probably going to get that wrong, but there we go. So yeah. Do you know what? I'm going to come off the fence. You asked the guys, no, I'm going to say that should Wilder have, no, the guy got busted for drugs. Was he right to walk away from the fight? Yeah, he was. That's my opinion.
You guys, even the WBC said he was. I guess I said he's fine, but this is a guy that has a history, so you know what I'm saying. Like, I don't know, man. I think I would have canceled the fight myself.
Yeah, I mean it's a sticky situation because
exactly.
you would have been over in Russia.
Not the best. Not the best place for him to be.
Let me tell you. You want the truth about it? You want me to tell you what I think really happened? Is I don't think Wilder. I think his team seen it as an out.
Exactly. Thank you, Chris. That's what I was looking for, and that's exactly what I said when it got to the Luis Ortiz situation. Now, of course, the WBC came in and said, "Hey, we want to check his health. The fight is off." But blood pressure medication isn't really that fucking serious. You know what I'm saying? And his team could have been like, well, let's talk about this. Let's try to get this fight made. Maybe we could postpone it a couple of months. You know what I'm saying? Which it eventually happened anyway, right? But they could have talked to him and said, hey, maybe we'll postpone it a couple months. We'll do this. We'll do that. Anything to get this fight on. They didn't do that. It was like his team was like, oh, shit, thank God. Let's go to Romain. You know what I'm saying?
Praise the Lord.
That's exactly what they did with Povetkin. That's exactly what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's hard, like I said, it's hard to criticize him for it because of the situation when you look at the history and all that. But I think when they said, wait a minute, here's a chance for us to avoid this situation. And that's what they did.
Yep. I agree with that 100, man, because and I don't think it's Wilder. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people saying Wilder ducked him or whatever. I agree with you guys that the fact that the fight was over in Russia, it would be a tough decision for me personally to be like, all right, let's go on with the fight. Because if this nigga's over here testing positive for shit, plus if you're in the boxing game, you know who Andre Ryabinski is. Andre Ryabinski
exactly.
Thing happened for Alexander Povetkin, right? He could have actually took a whole bunch of Meldonium and shit, came in there looking like the Incredible Hulk, but Andre Ryabinski would have made it seem like, it was only 0.2 milligrams. That's how much clout he has in the sport. You know what I'm saying? So if you know that
somebody got to check. You know what I'm saying?
Right. If you know that about him, then being Deontay Wilder, I'm gonna be like, nah, fuck that, man. Now, if the fight was in the United States, I'd have been like, no, let's go. But it's in Russia. Fuck that. But I do feel his team, just like with the Luis Ortiz situation, was like, hey, let's get the fuck up out of here, dog. This ain't the fight we need. And I think Deontay Wilder allows his team to handle 100% the business side of boxing, which a lot of fighters should, right? But you kind of want to make sure your team is making the best decision for you and for your fan base, because let's face it, Deontay Wilder is the WBC heavyweight champion in the world, but I don't think his team is doing a good job in marketing him and getting him out there. He should have much more fans than he does right now.
Absolutely terrible job. Me and Willie just had his manager on, and he's a super nice guy, man. Yep. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I think they're doing a terrible fucking job at promoting him. Terrible. Yep. You've got the American heavyweight champion that's undefeated, and what was it, 39 fights with 38 knockouts, something like that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And shit, we could go to the mall and ask 100 people who Deontay Wilder is, and I bet you 95 of them don't have a fucking clue.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
There's no. That's sad. That is sad. He's an American heavyweight champion.
Yep. I'm gonna ask before I let you guys go. I'm gonna just say they do have a terrible promotional team. They seem for a heavyweight champion not to have any kind of steam. It's unheard of in the United States, especially one with a KO power. Usually guys like that captivate the casuals, but I don't know what's going on there. He
this
probably
motherfucker ought to be on Wheaties boxes and everything.
He should be. I'm telling you.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask a question before I let you guys go. Is if you had a crystal ball, and this time next year, will there be an undisputed heavyweight champion? 2K.
Man,
That crystal ain't real clear, is it?
You know what I'm saying? That shit kind of murky, man.
So if you're a betting man, I wouldn't say don't bet on it.
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't put any chips on that one, man. Like,
Tyson Fury is a wild card, and he's that big of a wild card.
Man, and the guys made good points. Ace, shit. What was your nickname? AC. AC said. AC over in the UK said. What's his name? Joseph Parker have a rematch clause. C said Povetkin could be on the table because he is the mandatory for the WBA, yes, I believe, right now.
Yes.
So, yeah, man, there's a lot of things there's a lot of variables that can come into play. And then you got Eddie Hearn, who's his promoter. This motherfucker does shit, spur of the moment. He might bring in Bryant Jennings out of nowhere and shit. You know what I'm saying? Anything could happen. So I can't say we'll have undisputed next year. I don't even think we might not have undisputed in 2019, man. They might just relinquish the WBO title and shit. You never know, man. So many things could happen.
And Ortiz could definitely upset the apples, and they're not going to fight Ortiz.
Yep.
So let's be real about it. See, I guess you agree with that.
Looking at my crystal ball, I can't see through it. I can't even see like an inch into it, much less through it. So as murky as this shit is, and I'm going to say January 1st, 2019, we do not have an undisputed heavyweight champion.
Wow. Aaron?
No, I'm going to go the same as well. But like I said, there's an awful lot of variables that's stuck in there. I mean, Ortiz could. I'm with 2K. I think that Ortiz could win this. Could beat Deontay Wilder. You've got Fury as the wild card. Plus, we talked about the fact that Deontay Wilder's management team and everything else. You look at Eddie Hearn and look at Matchroom Boxing a few years ago. He used to have a fair few cash cows. Now he's only realistically got one. And if you ask me, he is going to point Anthony Joshua away from his biggest threat. And for me, that's Wilder or that is Ortiz. So whoever wins that WBC belt, I can see the fight with Parker is going to happen. Do I see having thought about it, do I see the WBC, the undisputed fight happening? Not right now. I think that Hearn's going to try and generate some money before he lets loose on a fight that Anthony Joshua could easily lose.
Oh wow. Well,
let me add one more thing.
Go ahead.
Remember recently, while they were in talks with Joseph Parker, right? Remember Eddie Hearn was trying to bring out a fucking Dillian White rematch. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where he comes out of nowhere with shit. So
absolutely.
Ain't no telling, man. Ain't no telling, man. That's why I don't believe him when he says Wilder's next. I don't believe him.
Hearn told me, what that interview was at the 30th. I'd done that. He told me that Josh was planning on fighting 3 times this year. Starting, I'll go ahead and tell you the date that's aimed for right now is March 31st for Parker and Joshua. But it could fall over into April. And if he fights 3 times, which I still ain't sure that's going to happen. All right. If he fights 3 times, then I believe you do see a Dillian White rematch.
Yeah, man.
I could easily see a Joseph Parker rematch and then a Dillian White in December at the O2.
There's no need for a Dillian White rematch either.
Absolutely.
There's no need. There's not going to be no need for a Parker rematch either.
Well,
with that too. I agree with that too.
Well, that's our show for today. It's always good to talk to you fellas, man. A lot of knowledge being dropped here, folks. I hope y'all listening. It's the movement. We coming. 3 Kings Boxing, East Lake Boxing, Colossal Boxing Talk, truth and facts about boxing. We're all here and we're coming. Aaron.
And 4 Corners Boxing.
4 Corners Boxing. That's right. Hey, can't forget about East Lake UK. Aaron, why don't you tell them where they can find you?
You can come and find me in East Boxing. You can mainly find me in 3 Kings Boxing.
Okay. How about you write an article? It's been 3 weeks.
Yeah, but yeah.
You can follow him at the Crumpeteers Corner.
hold on, guys. We got to translate that because Americans don't know what the fuck he just said. He said you can find him at Eastwick Boxing UK and Three Kings Boxing. There you go.
Yeah, you go. 2K.
Yeah, my ass is feeling a little bit crispy right now, gentlemen. 2K gonna burn the other side of my fucking face off.
Nah, man, I can't do that to you, man. You part of us now, man.
Oh, it's all love. It's all love now. Yeah.
The way if we don't pick on you, that means we don't like you.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I'll try and remember that, fellas. Thanks.
That's like 100.
All right,
Yeah,
man.
the only people that don't get picked on is us three because we'll fire your ass.
Well, yeah,
Right.
there is that.
Exactly.
We leave that shit to us. Hey, why don't you tell them where they can find you, fam?
Of course, y'all can find me on my channel, Prodigy of Boxing Talk, Three Kings Boxing. You know, I'm everywhere. Of course, you know, we got the movement going on and shit. We're trying to get that up and popping. That's a whole lot of different sources under that. We got, you know, of course, the boxing page, threekingsboxing.com. We got writers, we got YouTube personalities, man. We got journalists, we got everybody under that umbrella. And I'm going to be around trying to make sure everybody's, you know, up to par doing their things, you know, reaching out to the people, you know what I'm saying, making guest appearances, etc. And you'll see these guys as well on a lot of those same different media sources. So wherever you hear a motherfucker yelling and screaming, you know, kicking the door down and shit, you already know that's 2K, man. Real talk.
Hey, my man, C-Bone, my co-host on Block Talk Radio. What's going on, man? Why don't you tell them where they can find you?
You can find me on Twitter. I'm at Four Corners Boxing without the G, and Instagram. Y'all will always find me at threekingsboxing.com. I'm editor-in-chief there. And if somebody wants to try their hand at writing, you know, trying to write about boxing for a fan of boxing, they want to try to throw something together, you can submit it at writing@threekingsboxing.com.
No bias shit.
Yeah, really.
Do what? No bias shit. I mean, because you're going to be pissed when I send you your shit back, or if it gets published and I done took 3/4 of it out of it. I'm just going to keep it real. Now, everybody's shit don't get approved. I mean, you know, I get several articles a day, but I mean, give it a shot, man. It ain't nobody going to know about it but me, you, and everybody else I tell. But, so, but yeah, follow us, man. If you want to catch him on social media, I'm in Eastwick Boxing.
Yeah.
In there and everywhere.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm Willie the Kid, one of the co-founders of Three Kings Boxing. You can find me there on the Facebook page, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also find me on Eastwick Boxing on Twitter. And if you really want to be part of what we talk about, you like the knowledge and everything, you can always go to Eastwick Boxing Group on Facebook. We're all there all the time, man. And we're not nice, but we're real.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, man, 2018, we're coming for y'all. We're going to take over this shit. Whether y'all like it or not, we're here. And that's all I got to say, man. I want to thank my panel. I want to wish all of you guys out there a Happy New Year. Be blessed, and catch you later, man.